Federal prosecutors have now brought in forensic psychologist Dr. Hughes to testify in Diddy's upcoming legal case, and it's clear he's feeling the pressure. As new lawsuits begin to emerge, targeting big names like LeBron James, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé, Diddy's legal team is doing everything they can to block any damaging evidence from being presented. This move alone suggests Diddy is worried, and his attorneys are going to great lengths to eliminate anything that could be incriminating. Adding to the mounting tension is a viral video involving Cassie, which many believe could be the decisive evidence that lands Diddy behind bars. Let's unpack what's happening.
What these tests show was that there was a high degree of serious violence perpetrated by Mr. Depp toward Ms. Heard. There was violence more on the mild level perpetrated by Ms. Heard toward Mr. Depp.
Dr. Dawn Hughes, a licensed clinical psychologist and a board-certified forensic psychologist, is recognized as a leading authority in the areas of sexual abuse, interpersonal violence, trauma, and victim psychology. In court filings, the government disclosed that she is expected to offer professional insights related to victim behavior and responses to abuse, including coping mechanisms, the delay in reporting abuse, and the effects of coercive control.
Interesting situation we have here. So federal prosecutors want to call a key expert witness to the stand at Sean Combs' upcoming criminal trial planned to start next month. You know, the case where he's facing racketeering, prostitution, and sex trafficking charges. But the defense says no. She should not be allowed to testify. And there is a lot about this. So who is this person? We're talking about Dr. Dawn M. Hughes. Now, there is a chance you might be saying, why do I know that name? Why does that sound so familiar? Well, go back 3 years ago. Can't believe it's been 3 years, but you go back 3 years ago, and you remember the defamation trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard back in Virginia? Well, she was called by the actress to opine on her mental health and whether or not Amber Heard was exhibiting signs of, in fact, being abused, because Heard had been sued by Depp for falsely accusing him of abusing her.
Did you arrive at any expert opinions?
Yes, I did.
All right. I'd like to start with your main expert opinions and then go through those. Can you please tell the jury what your main opinions were?
So like I said, there are opinions embedded within them, but the main opinion is that Ms. Heard's report of intimate partner violence and the records that I reviewed is consistent with what we know in the field about intimate partner violence, characterized by physical violence, psychological aggression, sexual violence, coercive control, and surveillance behaviors.
And what was the other main opinion that you had?
The second main opinion was that that Ms. Heard demonstrated very clear psychological and traumatic effects, or the exacerbation of trauma, from those statements that Mr. Depp made through his attorney. There were 3 statements that we evaluated to see how they affected her emotionally and psychologically, and it was my determination that they did.
And did you arrive at any diagnostic conclusions?
Yes, I did.
And what were those?
I diagnosed Ms. Heard with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Despite this, Diddy's defense team is working hard to keep Dr. Hughes off the witness stand. Their formal motion to exclude her testimony, known as a motion in limine, aims to prevent her expert opinion from being introduced at trial. In the motion, the defense argues that Dr. Hughes has not personally reviewed the evidence in the case, and that her testimony would unfairly reinforce the prosecution's narrative, implying that just because the alleged victims acted like typical abuse survivors, they must be telling the truth. The defense insists that Dr. Hughes's statements would improperly sway the jury by replacing facts with general behavioral assumptions. They've stated plainly that if Dr. Hughes testifies, they plan to challenge her views through cross-examination and cast doubt on the victim's credibility, especially those who came forward only after Cassie Ventura did.
All be attacked on cross-examination. Their character will be impugned. They will attack the victims for not coming forward until Cassie Ventura came forward. How do you fix that? You find an outcry witness. What is an outcry witness? An outcry witness is someone the victim told about their at the time. So 10 years ago, I told you Sean Combs raped me at this party. I told you that then, but I never made a police report. That adds credence, credibility to the victim's statement. So a lot of victims are going to be attacked because they continued in a seemingly friendly relationship with Combs. A lot of women do that. Your boss makes advances on you unwanted. What do? Quit and starve? There's a lot of reasons women maintain a relationship with the rapist. So we may lose credibility on a couple of witnesses, but the sheer number of them, I find it hard to believe that a jury will choose to disbelieve all of these ladies and choose to believe.
Prosecutors believe that even if a few accusers lose credibility under scrutiny, the sheer number of similar allegations may persuade the jury that they're telling the truth. Meanwhile, the evidence against Diddy is mounting fast. A fresh legal motion seeks to exclude footage showing Diddy physically assaulting Cassie. Initially released by CNN, the footage reportedly shows Diddy violently hitting Cassie Ventura and dragging her by the hair. His legal team has tried several times to suppress this footage and now claims the video was altered to portray Diddy in the worst possible light.
So difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was f***ed up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. Got to go into therapy. I'm going to rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
However, this public admission complicates his current defense strategy, in which he now asserts that the footage has been doctored. As the case heads toward trial, all eyes are on a potential courtroom showdown over this explosive video. Diddy's lawyers are now pushing hard to have the video removed from evidence in his sex trafficking case. Legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer weighed in on what this could mean. According to Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, the video doesn't accurately depict what actually happened. He argues that CNN spliced and sped up the footage to create a misleading montage and that the original recording no longer exists. This argument is critical to the defense strategy. If the footage cannot be shown in court, they believe it will prevent a major emotional impact on the jury. But CNN has pushed back, firmly stating that the video wasn't altered and that they do indeed possess the original footage. If this claim holds up in court, the video may very well be allowed, and it could become a devastating blow to Diddy's defense. Prosecutors argue that the video could demonstrate how Diddy used physical violence as a method of control, supporting their case for sex trafficking and RICO conspiracy charges. They allege that this violent act against Cassie was a tool to keep her, as victim number one, under his influence. Diddy's legal team has made a last-ditch effort to block the footage. They insist the video would unfairly prejudice the jury, outweighing its value as evidence. They even included in their motion the phrase, "If a picture is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth well over the court's word limit," to emphasize how powerful and potentially misleading the footage could be. Their core argument is that CNN compressed over 10 minutes of footage into a 48-second clip, presented out of order, ending with Diddy dragging who they believe to be Cassie into a hotel room. The defense claims this severely misrepresents what actually happened and paints Diddy in the worst possible light. They also note that prosecutors used this video in earlier bail hearings to argue against releasing Diddy before trial. Some have even questioned why no one at the hotel reported the incident when it occurred, especially those responsible for monitoring security footage. Commentators suggest that if hotel staff saw the tape and failed to call police, they too bear responsibility. With the evidence stacking up and media attention intensifying, Diddy's legal team is under immense pressure. Their success in excluding key evidence like Dr. Hughes' testimony or the CNN footage could dramatically affect the trial's outcome. But if the judge allows these pieces to remain, Diddy may have to answer not just to the court, but to a public that's already made up its mind.